It is always great to see when a local makes it big on the international stage, and that's what we can say about our next guest, Shea Fisher, from just up the road, a good 3-iron, just up the road from the studio. Shea was a local here, and now she's doing great stuff over there in the USA, and particularly in Texas, and Shea joins us now. Congratulations on all your success, but do you miss home, Shea?
Oh my goodness, like crazy. It's funny when you don't live somewhere, you really take it, well, when you're living somewhere, I should say, you really take it for granted. And, I never used to realize how beautiful it was to wake up and drive 10 minutes and be down the beach to work out in the mornings. And, Australia in general is just such a beautiful country, and I love being able to come home. It's funny because I'm lucky I married an American that liked Australia, loves Australia, actually. My husband always says, when are we going to go back to Australia? Do you want to retire there one day? He just thinks it's the coolest country ever, so it's nice. I definitely still call Australia home.
What's the best thing about the USA for you?
There's a lot of opportunity here, honestly. It's a big country, so there's a lot of opportunity. Definitely not the food. The food's way better back home in Australia. I've had people have been so welcoming here for me, which has been great. But I would say the opportunities that there are here. The country has 300 million people, so of course everything is gonna, be bigger and not better. That's for sure.
For the people that don't know Shea Fisher, how did the association, if you like, for you to get to America and all that happen in the first place?
There's a few things. I grew up in a rodeo family. For those that don't know, my dad's an Australian champion bull rider and mum's an Australian champion barrel racer, which is kind of ironic because we live on the Sunshine Coast, and it's not really the place you would live if you're like a rodeo cowboy, but we did. So I grew up in a rodeo family, and when I was 9 through 11, we moved to the U.S., and my dad could ride bulls in one of the big circuits in America. So that was the first time I ever was in America. But for me to come over here musically, I didn't ever send my music out and try and get an American record deal. I recorded my albums in Nashville, and I was home in Australia working on releasing my second album. And I actually had a record label head hear my music in the studio in Nashville and call me, and then decided that he wanted to sign me to an American record deal. So I was the very first girl signed to his American record deal. He called me, and he gave me 2 weeks' notice. He said, I'm going to fly over in 2 weeks to meet to talk about signing an American record deal. And at the time, that was so daunting because my plan was to stay in Australia and to release music back home. And, I just had the first album do well. So, I really wasn't planning on moving away, but I had to pick up the phone and make some calls. I called Lee Kernaghan and a few of my Aussie singers and asked their opinions. And they all said the same thing. They said, you can't turn the opportunity down. You have to go and do it. So that's when I packed up and I started to, do the venture in the U.S. And I was lucky enough my Australian band moved over with me. And so I didn't feel like I was so far away from home.
We're talking to Shea Fisher tonight, all the way from the United States, to find out what it's like over there for her, for a Sunshine Coast girl made good on the big stage of Texas. We know about Nashville, the home of country music, but it's pretty big in the other southern states, places like Texas and so forth. What's some of your experiences you can share with the listeners?
Honestly, Texas is probably one of my favorite places to perform. Texas really reminds me of home. The Texas country music crowds are a lot like home. They like to have a good time. They like to drink beer, and they want to dance all night. I love playing the Texas shows. They're one of my favorite to do, really.
What are some of the things that are still on your bucket list to accomplish while you're there in the States?
If you had to tell me, if you had to ask me if you could sing with one person, who would it be? It would for sure be Garth Brooks. I've always been a huge fan of Garth, and he's touring again now. So, I would be I've been making calls and hey, does anybody have a really good relationship with Garth Brooks? Because I would love to be on one of his tours or perform with him. But he's such a great guy. I've met him a couple of times, and what an awesome guy he is. That's for sure on my bucket list. I definitely would love to have at least a top 5 song here in the U.S. Of course, everyone wants to have a number 1 song, but, you got to start your way somewhere. So for sure, a top 5 song is what I would be aiming for.
Shea Fisher, all the way from the USA, a sunny coast girl telling us what it's like over there in the home of country music, so to speak. We've had a lot of people sending us messages telling us that they're over there for the big CMT Awards. A lot of Australians make their way for this time of the year. What are some of the things that they'll be doing apart from the awards? What are some of the must-see country music things for people that are going to Nashville and Texas?
Oh man, the CMT, the CMA Festival, it's just such a blast. I mean, other than there's a million people in town and it is so hot, it's so much fun. Like, it's so great catching up with all the Aussies over there as well. But of course, everyone needs to go and check out the CMT Awards. That's always such a great night. I've done that event a couple of times and it's a blast. They have so much fun at that award show. But if you've never been to Nashville before, of course you need to check out the Grand Old Opry. Even if you just have a tour of it, it's just such a such a big deal for country music. So I think that that's an important thing to do. There are so many things in Nashville. I mean, if they want an eating place, there's a place called Pancake Pantry that, oh my gosh, love that place. I always eat way too much there. Downtown Broadway is such a cool place because it has bars going pretty much 24 hours a day during that time of year and just different bands playing. There's no cover charges. You just go in and you just have a great time. They're playing all your favorite covers. It's really neat. Broadway, it's a cool experience. It's lit up. You kind of feel like you're in a mix between a little bit of a Vegas, and then you have the music. And same thing though, when you live in Nashville, you take it for granted. I mean, I can count on one hand the amount of times I've gone out at night and hung out down Broadway, even though it's so much fun. You just live there, so you don't do it sometimes. But yeah, you definitely need to check out Broadway and the Grand Old Opry, and then and everyone needs to go and eat at the Pancake Pantry, that's for sure.
Shea, it's been so much fun to catch up with you tonight. It makes me want to just go and book the trip and come over and visit you.
Well, come on, I can be your tour guide.
Well, there it is, folks. And I reckon there's an offer for any Aussie if you get in touch with Shea on Facebook and say, I'm coming over. I need the address to the Pancake Pantry and what else I need to do.
Yeah, Facebook me and I can hook everyone up. That's not a problem.
The brand new single's out now. It's called Tough. And Shea, it's been so good to catch up with you. We're going to give this music some play. And if you do like what you hear, folks, make sure you do get in touch with Shea on Facebook. It's so important to let these artists know that you like their music and what else they have available. There's back catalogues and what's coming up next. And who knows, there may be a support act for Garth Brooks in the mix somewhere.
Let's keep our Aussie fingers crossed.
Shea, it's so good to catch up with you. Good luck with everything, and we hope we talk again soon. Here's Shea Fisher and Tough.